This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game.
Sports rundown.
Welcome back to the Sports Rundown here on 89.5 KQAL. I'm Gabe Slavin along with Eric Bell here for our Thursday installment of the Rundown today. And Eric, it's a pretty significant day in the world of sports.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say there's a lot that comes in with draft day, okay? There's a movie.
Yeah.
We could talk about that. But I have a new way of thinking about it.
Oh.
Is the NFL draft the most, like, non-sporting event, sporting event, like the most commercial non-sporting event we will ever see?
Yeah, for sure. I believe so.
Because, I mean, when you really think about it, what does this not, like, how many people watch this? Like, I feel like more people watch the NFL draft than most people watch the NBA playoffs at times.
I mean, I can look this up currently.
And again, I mean, just with how kind of the drama, it's kind of like weird, like, what would you say? Like, interesting television going on with this kind of dynamic that the draft brings. Because, I mean, it's people who are getting the best call of their lives. And, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I also don't. Maybe, to be fair, people watch day one and then they tune out the rest of the days because they're going to be like, oh, all 32 first 32 picks are going to be held. I heard that there's going to be 32 players picked in this draft, confirmed from my sources.
I don't know. I mean, what if and here's an interesting hypothetical. What if the last team of the first round runs out the clock? Do they just wait till day two?
Yeah, that's something that I don't think anyone's ever thought about because people know like what happens if you like go over the Vikings. I'm pretty sure did that one.
Yeah, they did the Kevin Williams pick because they went over their time because of a trade that didn't go through the Baltimore Ravens, so they had to pick Kevin Williams, but it wasn't like in an order where they had every single person available because the team behind them could make that pick.
Yeah. I mean, to answer your first question that you kind of asked was how many viewers does the NFL draft usually draw in? It averages 7.5 million viewers.
7.5 million.
With 2024 being the largest, at least day one, 13.6 million.
Would that be the year that it was in Detroit or Green Bay?
That would be the year that it was in Detroit, because last year was Green Bay, 2025.
Have you ever seen the clip of Ty Schmidt of the Pat McAfee show reacting to Lions fans saying Packers suck?
No, I have not.
It's not safe for radio.
Okay,
but
yeah, of course it's not.
But it's always very interesting because have you ever seen his Mad Mel character where he dresses up as Mel Kiper?
Yep.
Have you? Do you know where that really got popular?
No.
You know what pick?
Where? Oh, wasn't it the Jordan Love?
It was the Jordan Love pick because
I do remember that.
I mean, take the only guy that's going to make the quarterback angry. That's what he said. Obviously not in that exact wording because, again, not safe for radio. But it's always interesting to think about that. And to start our little icebreaker segment, we talked about the Draft Day movie last year, but here's a new way we can think about it.
Okay.
Let's look at the trade packages that came from this movie and analyze them as if we were NFL GMs, Eric. Okay?
All right.
First, let's start with a trade that started everything. Okay? The Browns trade up to number 1 from the Seattle Seahawks for 3 first-round selections, back-to-back-to-back years, including the number 7th overall pick. Is that a good trade?
No, that's an F. Or I wouldn't say that's an F, but it's at least like a C trade because at least you get the first overall pick, but you gave up 3 first round. That's not how that would go down in real life.
That's not how it would go. Because you know what's really interesting with that trade? It reminds me of a trade that happened a couple years ago as well.
Oh, yeah? What trade?
Bryce Young.
Oh, yeah.
It was a little different because only 2 first-round picks, I believe, is second, and DJ Moore roughly was the trade package.
I believe so. Bryce Young.
And that was, it kind of reminds me, because, like, looking at it now, it might not be as bad as we thought, you know?
No, it wasn't bad at all. Sorry, it was Chicago received DJ Moore, the number 9th overall pick, the 61st pick, and a 2024 first-round pick, which ended up being Caleb Williams, and then a second-round pick, too, in 2025.
Yeah, just incredible trade value there. And then we can also look at the other 2 picks. This one, I feel like, is the most nonsensical of them all. Browns trade for the number 6 overall pick with 3 second-rounders. What is...
You had to give up another first-round pick to get in the top... When does it become where you can kind of trade at least like maybe 1 or 2 second-round picks? Like you have to get out of the top, but like maybe 15 in the first round to at least maybe give up 2 first-round picks to kind of come back in the first round.
Yes.
But a top 6 pick can like change your franchise. Like you're not gonna give that up for 2, or was it 3 or 2?
It was 3 second-round picks.
3 second-round picks. That's not worth it.
But you know what's the worst of it all? The trade that closed, spoiler if you haven't seen Draft Day, but the final trade that gets Bo Callahan to the Seattle Seahawks, as Seattle started this by trading away number 1, they traded number 7 and 2 future first-round picks and David Putney because Sonny Weaver felt like it. For 1 pick up.
So you're only allowed to, I believe you're only allowed to trade 5 first-round picks, I believe, in the NFL.
Yeah, but this is movie logic.
No,
so we just throw it
like,
out the window.
I know. I'm just like, so you give up 5 first round. Okay, so you had the number 1 overall.
No,
pick.
okay. The Browns move down 1. I should specify. The Seahawks are trading back the Browns' first round picks.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, what a stupid movie, and like what a stupid.
What a stupid!
I
Wow,
don't like that movie.
Sorry for all the Draft Day.
I don't
fan favorites out there. But I would say for grades, I'd give the first one a D, second one F minus, third one F minus minus. What do you think, Eric?
I'm in agreement with you. I mean, I would give Cleveland a C, Seattle an A plus for the first one. The second one, probably like a D for the Browns, and then another A plus, and then this another one is like it's just L. Like Fox Sports did the first trade where they graded the Browns with a C minus, Seahawks an A. The second one, Browns a B, and then Jaguars a D. And then the last one, the Browns an A plus, and the Seahawks an F. That's fair. But like, what?
It's just nonsensical trade logic. It's like, you know, when you play a Madden and or I guess really more 2K, because Madden doesn't really have trade sliders. It's more NBA 2K that does, where you prod it up and you can get if we're thinking like Giannis Antetokounmpo for Julius Randle.
Yeah.
Which Wolves fans would love that, but I don't think that's going to happen. But, I mean, Draft Day is here. We'll talk a lot more about it in the second half of our show, maybe with a couple of special guests, especially with a potential comeback. But we will save that for the second half.
I wonder who that is.
We wonder who that is. But we will start with some Warrior sports here on the Sports Rundown, as we could start with a couple of events that will be taking place this weekend. As track and field, they had 3 invites last week. The headliner was Ella Voigt, setting a school record in the 3,000-meter steeplechase in the Brian Clay Invitational in Azusa Pacific. She is also the 5th fastest Division II winner with a time of 10:27 and 7th overall in Division II this spring. So she's having a really strong start. This is probably the middle of the pack here for the outdoor season for track.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of have a question for you, Gabe.
What's that?
Okay. This isn't this is related to track and field. How fast do you think you could run a milk mile?
Oh, a milk mile.
So you drink every single time you go around the lap.
Yep.
The track, you drink milk.
Yeah, you get a quarter mile, then you get a quart of milk.
Yep.
Wow, that is...
How fast?
That is a very tough question. Honestly, I'm thinking because I really don't want to start, just hacking halfway through. So I think, if I'm being realistic, maybe 8.
8 minutes?
8 minutes.
I think I could do probably maybe 10 minutes. Maybe.
10 minutes? I don't know. The milk mile is always such a, You have to experience it to know.
Yeah.
It's really hard to gauge with the Milk Mile, but again, a little less gross from the Milk Mile. But I mean, also Stella Rausch finishing 5th in the Open B of the 5,000 meter at the Brian Clay Invitational. She's number 3 in Division II behind teammate Kylie Anderson. So a couple of very strong finishes there on the weekend last weekend. But there is some action going on this weekend, and it's the Dick and Mary Johnson Invite in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. They were supposed to travel to Des Moines, Iowa for the Drake Relays. So
Your favorite relay.
my Iowa heart crumbles at the sight of losing that. But again, there's still a lot to be had here for the women's track and field team, as we have a couple of meets to go, as they have the Maverick Open 1 and Open 2 coming up next week, as well as in a couple of weeks from now, it's the NSIC Outdoor Championships, May 7th through May 9th, which will be through our finals week.
Yeah.
So we'll try to keep you covered on that. I'm not sure, to be specific, if we'll have rundowns during the week of May 4th through May 7th, but we'll keep you updated on that as well. As well as stay tuned on our podcast on Spotify, as you can go to KQAL Sports Rundown. You'll be able to find every single rundown we have on that list, so be sure to stay tuned for that as well. But again, women's track and field has a lot of invites coming up, but we'll keep you in tune for that. We can move over to another team that will be in action this weekend, and that'll be the Winona State softball team, Eric.
Yeah, the Winona State softball team came off a splitting series against St. Cloud University, where in the first game they beat St. Cloud 4-0, and in the second game they lost 5-0. But their next next 4 matchups are against Bemidji State in Bemidji, Minnesota, and then they head over to Duluth on that Sunday to face the University of Minnesota Duluth.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of weekends here. Obviously, we were on the call for that St. Cloud State University doubleheader at Megan R. Johnson Field, but only 2 weekends left of regular season play for this Warriors team, who they're looking to make a run to the national tournament, right, Eric?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I mean, they're ranked, I think 24th, or did they go higher up now?
As of right now, they are currently not ranked.
Oh, they're not ranked? I thought
because they split the series with St. Cloud.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
But they're continuing to receive votes in the national NFCA top 25 poll, so we'll keep you in tune for that. And again, this Warriors team has multiple NSIC players of the week as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're deep in pitching too. Like this softball team is phenomenal this year. I mean, they have a chance to win it all.
Yeah, I mean, Jada Berg leading the NSIC in wins in her record of 17-3. Ashley Tyson, who's been a very surprising character here for this Warriors team, freshman pitcher from Clinton, Wisconsin, 9-0 with an ERA of 2.54, and again, just continues to have a strong start to her season, as well as, don't forget, Izzy Howe, a multiple-time NSIC Pitcher of the Week award winner as well. And again, this softball team, they're looking to make a run to the national tournament. They were snubbed out last year, which was always kind of interesting because we talked about this. They played Minnesota State Mankato in the NSIC tournament semifinals. They split in the regular season, okay? And they were left out with a very similar record after beating them in the conference tournaments.
Yeah, I don't get the committee's decision on that. It's very confusing, and everything that I don't get it. I don't. I truly don't.
Well, I mean, they split this year against Mankato, but they are the front runners in the NSIC. In the standings, they are currently a game ahead of St. Cloud, who they did split with as well after picking up that loss. They will be playing, like Eric said, Bemidji, who is currently second to last in the conference with a 4-18 conference record, and Minnesota Duluth, who is 12-10. But we'll keep you in tune for Warrior softball as that season progresses. And with some more Warrior sports we can talk about, I feel like we can move over to the NSIC championships for women's golf. Update for the men's golf team. They did win the NSIC tournament last weekend, as Max Jericho was the 17th Warrior finalist in men's golf history, as well as the first medalist since 2023. So, and also for the men's golf team, first NSIC championship since 2021. So a lot of big things there for Coach Strait in his final season. Yeah. He's accomplished a lot.
I mean, he gets a lot. I mean, last year he wished he would have won. They got second place in the NSIC championship, and this year they finished first. So he ends off his he's won. I don't know how long he's been here, but has he been here the whole time that they've won 17? I believe the NSIC championship
he has been here for quite a while. I would have to pull up the record books for that, but he has been with Winona State as the head golf coach since 2015, and he was promoted to director of golf in 2018, which is both men's and women's. So he's been there for quite a while, but I don't know if he's been there for that long.
Yeah, so he hasn't seen all 17, but he's seen a lot of them.
But yeah, I mean, and with that men's golf team, there's also the women's golf team, as they are currently in Blue Springs, Missouri right now. Round 2 just concluded, as a couple of Warriors right now. They are currently sitting 5th in the NSIC. Minnesota State Mankato is number 1, Concordia St. Paul 2, Wayne State 3, and Crookston is 4. But Winona State moving up from last night's round, as they were 6 after day 1. Day 2 has been a much better round for the Warriors. Lindsey Lund and Georgia Foley leading the way. Currently, both 10 strokes above par, as having a very solid start. Megan Young as well being a couple strokes behind 20th place across all individuals in the NSIC, as well as Kessa Morrow picking up a plus 24. This women's golf team, again, another NSIC team to watch for the national tournament and this NSIC championship. This third final round that's going to happen tomorrow, we'll have you the final results, Eric, but this is a big round here for this Warriors team.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, they move up one place. Sioux Falls, I believe, fell 4 places. They ended the game, or they ended the day, or I should say round 2 with plus 25. Very good looking for them to get into maybe a possible top 3 finish.
And yeah, I mean, we're going to keep you updated on that as well. Be sure to stay tuned for Monday's rundown for final results, as well as we might have a member of the men's golf team, if I remember correctly, be on Monday's show, but that will be very tentative. Be sure to stay tuned on social media, whether it's KQAL's Instagram or account on X. So be sure to stay tuned for that as well. But there's one final sport we can talk about, Eric, and I saved this one for last for a good reason.
Okay.
As the Warriors baseball team, they had a really big middle of the week series against the Mavericks.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to play something on the mic. My bad. Yeah, they did. I mean, Mankato is coming in this game, ranked number 16 nationally. In the first game, Harrer hit a walk-off home run in the 10th inning.
And yeah, that is a very big win.
Yeah, I mean, in the second game, they do lose 11-8, which sucks. But their next couple games, or I should say their next 2 games, University of Minnesota Crookston in Crookston, Minnesota on April 25th, and then also April 26th, and then Tuesday against University of Minnesota Duluth in Duluth, Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, Winona State taking on the top team in the NSIC in a very tough series, 23-5 after that doubleheader against the Warriors at Lowry Field. And again, you have to find a lot of confidence here for a Warriors team. While they won 7 straight, they did lose that final one, but 7 straight wins on this stretch.
I mean, 7 straight wins to push you guys over to above 500 currently, 21 and overall record 21-20, but also in conference play they are 16-12 with a 57% or 0.57% win conference win rate.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about their series against Crookston this Saturday and Sunday in Crookston. That's going to be crucial because they are currently tied for same wins right now in NSIC standings. Winona State has 1 less loss. So with that being said, Winona State currently 5th in the conference. And right now there's currently 7 teams with 16 wins or more. So they have a little bit of insurance there. They're not in that 8 spot where they were before, but you still have to continue to stay hot on the bats.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, this team has gone off, they were just coming off a 7-game win streak, and then they lose to Mankato 11-8. But, I mean, I believe in this team. This team can finish it off. They have a great possibility they are, I believe, in the NSIC playoffs, at least currently.
As it stands, yes, because the top 8 teams in the NSIC tournament for baseball and softball, they all make it.
Yes. So if they can win these next couple of games, or if they beat Crookston in the series 2-1, or they beat Duluth, split that series, I think they have a good chance. Or even Northern, if they beat Northern all 3 games, that's a good chance for them to get into the NSIC playoffs.
And it's good you mentioned Northern. That is their regular season finale, which is next week, Friday and Saturday at Lowry Field. So that's going to be possibly have a lot of implications for the NSIC tournament, which we'll keep you in tune for that as well. Speaking of NSIC tournaments, the women's tennis team's season is officially over, but we do have a bracket for the NSIC Women's Tennis Tournament. Currently the 1 seed, Augustana. I mean, they're on a crazy good winning streak here.
Since 2010.
Since 2010, odds-on favorite to win this tournament by a large margin. Minnesota State has something to say about it. The Mavericks are currently the 2, and in the matchups for the second round, for the opening round, which is considered the quarterfinals, because there's only 6 teams, it's going to be Crookston versus UMary in the 4-5 game in Sioux Falls, as well as Sioux Falls and Bemidji. Those games will be going on tomorrow, those matches. So be sure to stay tuned for that. We'll have results of who won this tournament possibly by Monday, so we'll be sure to stay tuned for that as well. But again, that is going to do it here for Warrior Sports, as we'll also close the first half on that as well. When we come back, we'll have maybe a possible guest to talk about the NBA playoffs,
Maybe.
the NHL playoffs,
Maybe.
and the NFL draft.
Ooh.
You'll listen to that and more right here on the Sports Rundown on 89.5 KQAL. Welcome back to the Sports Rundown on 89.5 KQAL. This is Gabe Slavin with Eric Bell with a special guest here with us on the horn as a very particular Warrior alumni, Owen Culshaw-Klein, making his comeback appearance to the Rundown.
Hey, I'm back on the radio, guys. I don't know if America missed me at all. I'm broadcasting you live from the corner of my house. It's good to be back, gentlemen. What do we got on deck?
Well, we can start with a particular series of playoffs, Owen, because we'll conclude with the NFL draft as I'll be close to the start time, which, I mean, I guess I'll start with an opening question to you. How long do you think it'll be until we get the first pick?
My prediction, and that's something we did at KQAL every year for those that don't know, is we would pick what time the first pick actually goes off or what time a game would tip because it's never on time. I think it'll be 7:15, even though, again, this is probably the 5th year in a row where we've had the most obvious first pick of all time. So
Yeah, for sure.
we'll see.
I mean, the most obvious first pick. It's been a while since we...
You mean Ty Simpson, right? Number
Ty
1?
Simpson?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ty
according
Simpson.
to Dan Orlowski, it's Ty Simpson, and we should just
Yeah, come on.
give the Raiders Ty Simpson right now.
Well, if you were listening to KQAL at 1:20, you would have listened to our very own Doug Westerman talk to Paul Allen. He had the inside scoop that between the picks, I'll be sure to listen to Doug Westerman's show on the Rock Pile every Thursday from 1 to 3, by the way. Sorry guys, had to throw on that plug.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. But he said that the time, it's instead of 10 minutes between picks, it's 8.
8, okay.
So that might be a big change here because it might speed up the process just a little bit more.
I mean, yeah, it's tough because the NFL wants to be on TV as long as possible. We all know this. I literally was talking about this with one of my coworkers the other day. Give them 5 minutes on the clock. These guys have been scouting these apartments, know who everybody is. You shouldn't need more than 5 minutes to select your guy unless you're making a trade. Is that ridiculous? Am I crazy for that?
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I think it's a little bit ridiculous to at least give them 5 minutes. I think 8 minutes is kind of perfect.
But then the problem is they're going to milk the 8 minutes, and then they got to come on the stage, Eric, so that turns it into 10, 11, 12. And by the time we get to the 10th pick, people are asleep.
Yeah,
That is true.
Is it? Yeah, it's just the whole production. It's like 5 minutes, make the pick, and then let Goodell have his 5 minutes to walk out there, do the handshakes, do all the things that we do at the draft. But that's just my piece.
The draft will officially start at 7. The clock will start, I should say, in Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, for the first overall pick. Which, again, Ty Simpson might go off the board.
Yeah, I think number 1, guys. I think he's going number 1.
He might be going number 1, but we can circle back to that as I have a couple of interesting tidbits to close the rundown. But we can start with the NHL playoffs as Owen. Our Wild, they started off really well with one of the most dominant Game 1 performances, but what's changed?
I think the Dallas Stars woke up because there was a quote that came out after Game 1 that they were playing at 70%, and they were in their locker room kind of just shaking it off because they lost last year to Colorado 5-1 and went on to beat Colorado in 7 games. So it's kind of one of those things where might be a rope-a-dope situation, but at the same time, and I don't like, you guys know this, I don't like analytics. I like watching the games and talking about it. Statistically, the Wild have been better than they have. I know I don't like analytics. I know I say it's ridiculous, but they haven't beaten us 5-on-5. They had 8 power plays last night. We had 7. And the simple fact of the matter is we didn't score and we had the man advantage. They did. And that's how they beat us in double overtime. It's just the sad reality.
And I feel like the power play was a big reason why Minnesota was so dominant in that first game, 2 of 4, if I remember correctly. And it just hasn't translated to the other in game 2 and game 3 yet.
And like we've said the whole time, this is going to be a long series no matter what. There were people saying Wild and 5 improved, beat them once. You guys need to understand. You just embarrassed a bunch of grown men in game 1. They have 2 days to sit there and think about it, and you get to play them again in their own building in front of a crowd that's going to be on fire. So it's one of those things where it's like, if you genuinely believe we were going to take both games in Dallas, I needed to put my hand on your shoulder and tell you that was objectively wrong. But I don't know. It's a long series. There's a lot of genuine overreactions after games. Twitter was feeling stuff. I was feeling stuff. Everybody was. It's just kind of the uh-oh moment that we have when you go down 2-1 in the series. It's like, is this going to be another year of the same shenanigans?
Well, they'll have a chance to equal it out, Eric. I mean, if you...
I was going to agree with Owen because, yeah, for sure. I mean, this Wild team kind of typically loses in the first round. I hopefully this year could be different.
And yeah, I mean, it's going to be very interesting as they'll head to Grand Casino Arena for Game 4 after dropping Game 3 in double OT as well. It was a heartbreaker, to say the least.
What's funny about that is due to my new temporary work schedule, I suppose, because I'm working a little part-time job before I start my master's program here in May. But
Congrats.
I have to get in. Thank you. Appreciate it, gentlemen. I have to go to bed at 11. Overtime, the first overtime started at 11:30. So I stayed up to watch the rest of regulation. I went to bed, and I kind of had that feeling. I don't know about you guys, but I'm like, I'm going to wake up, and it's going to be 4-3 bad guys in double OT. What do you know? 8 minutes into the second overtime, which the game ended at like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
You just had people out on the streets in the Twin Cities at 1 a.m. on a Thursday morning. But that was kind of a bad feeling. I'm like, if this gets to OT, it's probably not going to go our way. And lo and behold, you wake up and 4-3 stars, just as sad as that might sound.
And yeah, I mean, unfortunately, Minnesota currently down 2-1 right now, looking to avoid getting down 3-1 at Grand Casino Arena. But again, one of the most talented teams we've seen here in the Wild in a long time.
Yeah, and something that's been bothering me is people are saying that you need to fire Phil Guerin, and I think that's a little bit ridiculous from the standpoint of he traded for Quinn Hughes on like a random Tuesday night, a top 3 defenseman in the league, and then he added a bunch of pieces to the deadline. You cannot look me in the eyes and tell me he isn't building a contender, or at least building a team that's capable of going on a deep run. This could just be another Minnesota curse kind of thing where it's like the Vikings. We have a talented team, but they're going to mess around and they're going to win 9 games and they're going to end up losing to the Cardinals and knock them out of the playoffs, as the great PA once mentioned. It's just, sometimes it's kind of just what we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and also it's kind of like a building year. I mean, this team hasn't been, they played I don't want to say all 82 games this season, but it's a chemistry building kind of season, it feels like.
Especially that back half, and it's even with the Wolves. You just have lapses against the bad teams like the Anaheim Ducks. Like the Blues beat them for like 4-2. I was in attendance for 2 games where they lost to the 2 worst teams in the East, just on a random couple nights. So it happens, but if there's any team that can rally in front of these fans, I think it's this version of this team, because this is probably the best team we've had in the last decade, truthfully.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, we're going to have to continue to keep an eye on the Wild as they look to advance past the Dallas Stars, currently in a 2-1 hole, Game 4 on Saturday. So we'll keep you in tune for that. But Owen, there's a couple of other series that have kind of surprised me. Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins are currently in a 3-0 hole against the Flyers.
Yeah, so as a guy who picked Penguins in 6, it's not looking too great right now. That, I think, is a case, and you guys have probably seen this before, that's a case of just the Flyers are younger, faster, and more athletic, and it's kind of, I likened it to the Jack and Storm passing Lightning McQueen in a race. It's kind of like the younger version of the Penguins is in their same city and is not lapping them, but is likely, obviously, potentially probably going to sweep them, or maybe gentlemen sweep them now. So shocked is an understatement, though. I thought the Penguins would at least get one at home, but they just, I don't know. I think they're just out of gas. But it's sad because this might be Sid's one of Sid's last 2 or 3 years in the league, and we don't know what this team is going to look like next year. So it's a little sad to see Sid go out like this.
I mean, you say it's Sid's last year, but he kind of gives that, LeBron feeling where, is he really done yet?
Is he done yet?
He might go till he's 60.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying that he's done, but is this team going to be competitive enough the rest of the way for him to get in and get 2, 3, 4 more cracks at it? Because making the playoffs, especially with the way the format is in the NHL, is hard enough as it is.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. And again, first round series, a lot of them are tied 1-1 right now. Hurricanes leading Senators 2-0. But one series, again, that's been really competitive has been the Sabres versus the Bruins. And Sabres kind of have this underdog, even though they're the higher seed here in the format, they kind of have this underdog story because this playoff drought.
Yeah, they obviously haven't made it in X amount of years. I think it's 2008. One of you can fact check me on that if you'd like to do so. As I hear Eric typing, thank you for that.
Yep.
But yeah, it's kind of one of those where it's like the Sabres came out in game 1 and they came out flat because that crowd hasn't had playoffs. That crowd's had Buffalo Bills football for the last 5 years, and that's been about it in that city. So I think they fell victim to a little bit of energy, and they're going against a Boston team that greatly exceeded expectations. That's a really weird series, but I think no matter who wins that, they're gonna lose to either Tampa or Montreal, who's given the 2-time in 5 years Stanley Cup champions some problems.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how some of these series shake up. And again, Sabres-Bruins right now, 5 minutes left in the first period, so we'll keep you in tune for any scoring updates there.
And for the fact check, it's been 14 years since the Sabres have officially made the Stanley Cup playoffs.
So is that 2012 then?
Yeah, 2011, 2012.
Okay, perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, long playoff droughts are over. And again,
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
Playoffs?
we can move to another set of playoffs going on right now because, Owen, I know you are part of the Smoker Fire Show, and that is heavily focused on NBA content.
Appreciate the shameless plug.
The NBA has a lot of interesting playoff series going on. I'm going to save the obvious one for last because that one is going on tonight, and we can talk about that a little bit in depth. But there is a series in the Western Conference that has really got me shocked, and it's the Lakers and the Rockets.
How?
It's the power of friendship, Eric. The Lakers are relying on 41-year-old LeBron for
True.
the 5th time in his career to carry them. But the sad part is, and I'm sure they know this, the winner of this series has the Thunder most likely. And
Yeah.
we can get to that series in a second because there's a whole lot of drama going on there. But this is a really funny series because you got the 4-5 matchup there. And you're like, oh, yeah, it's the Lakers without their top 2 players against the Rockets team that's the victim of the KD burner tweets. And it's you know what's funny about that? It turns out that maybe KD was right about everything he said the whole time because it's playing out in front of our eyes in real time.
Like I'll see Sengun and like Amen Thompson like in the paint pass back to each other like 2 or 3 times before someone takes a shot, and then Sengun takes like a Kareem Hook shot and he just misses it. Like outside of KD, no one can score on this team.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember Paolo Banchero got some flack for the way he played in the playing game because he's 6'9", 250, but he plays like he's built like me or Eric as a guard, right? So it's kind of like Sengun. It's like Sengun allegedly is one of like the softest big men ever, and he runs. I've said this before. He runs like it hurts.
Have you?
Has anyone else noticed that he runs like it
Yeah,
hurts?
yeah, he does. I mean, did you see when like one of his teammates fell down and he was still like I think he was like maybe like 6 feet away and he tripped over him.
Tripped over him.
Like what are you doing, Sengun?
I saw that. That became a part of a NBA fails edit, and that got spread around the internet. So that said, guys, I did see that Austin Reeves is upgraded to questionable for Game 3 moving forward. So if they get out of this series, do they get both of them back? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Is that a possibility?
I believe Luka went over to Europe and got some shots in his knees or in his.
Well, we don't know what they officially did. He's been getting treatment in Spain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, but he got shots.
And we've heard of NFL players like Christian McCaffrey going to get better surgeries done over in Europe on his Achilles and things. So it's not that crazy.
But yeah, I mean, if they do win, right now the odds are heavily favored in them playing the team with a star player who said this.
Oh, never. That's impossible. Yeah, nah. Unless it's like going to the grocery store. You wear gray sweats and a black hoodie. But like to a game? No, never in my life. No.
Oh, and do you know who that is?
That's the alleged clutch player of the year, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Alleged.
Well,
But it's confirmed.
he is confirmed.
I know, and I say alleged because he shouldn't have won the award.
Oh.
I could go into a 5-minute rant on that, but long story short, he didn't play nearly the same amount of fourth quarters as the two guys that were the other candidates. I'll let you guys chew on that.
Was it Brunson and Anthony Edwards? Were the other two candidates? Jamal Murray.
Anthony Edwards and Jalen Brunson, I think, was there, but he finished fourth.
Which, how does that work?
mistaken.
So is Anthony Edwards eligible to – he's not eligible to make the All-NBA first or second or third team. He's not eligible for the MVP award, Defensive Player of the Year award. Most improved player, obviously, he wouldn't win it. But he's eligible for the Clutch Player of the Year? How does that work?
I don't know.
I don't know because the 65-game rule, I think, is meant more for – sixth man of the year, your MVP. I think it was meant for the MVP because that was the whole issue that we had with guys load managing and your MVP candidates were playing 56 games, 50 games, whatever it might be. So I think that's what it was, but there's been a lot of discourse around that saying that we need to go to something minutes-based because Wemby won Defensive Player of the Year over a couple guys that played 200-300 more minutes than him. Like Wemby didn't crack 2,000 minutes. The other two guys that got exceptions for their rule, which were Cade and Luka, played over 2,000 minutes. So,
yeah.
You know what really grinds my gears?
The 65-game rule.
Yeah.
Make it this might be a simple solution. You guys can let me know about this, but make it like 2,000 minutes. Like I said, Cade and Wemby both got exemptions to the rule. They played over 2,000 minutes. Wemby played 1,700, and they won the award. So if you make it 2,000 minutes, that's a baseline because those three stars I just mentioned are going to hit that within 65 games anyway. So then you don't have to file for exemptions and special rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up Wembanyama because Victor Wembanyama played last. Did they play last night? The Blazers and the Spurs, or 2 days ago?
It was Monday night. I'm pretty sure they played Monday night.
Yeah, they played Monday night.
Well, there is a bit of a controversy with that because Victor Wembanyama is currently in concussion protocol heading into Game 3 going to Portland, and Portland tied the series in Game 2 with Scoot Henderson, who was one of the top two prospects in Victor Wembanyama's draft class.
Should have gone number 1 after this game.
Whoa, I don't know about that.
I keep saying it.
It's almost like Scoot remembered that he was in the G League and he was a legitimate NBA prospect and just started hooping.
Yeah.
He was one of the guys I was high on too. This Blazers team is sneaky annoying, truthfully, in the sense that you don't want to play against them every night because they're just going to mess with you. That's kind of what they're doing with the Spurs.
Yeah, I mean, this Spurs team, without Wemby, I believe has like a minus 7 differential, like net differential, I believe, when he's off the court. I mean, you kind of saw it in last game, but you kind of hoped that the Spurs almost won it, to be fair, but obviously they did not. They lost by 3 points.
Yeah, very big game there, as it's really interesting to look at that, as every single series in the Western Conference has major storylines. So we kind of forget to talk about the Eastern Conference. And one series that I find honestly very funny right now is the Atlanta Hawks versus the New York Knicks, as the Hawks are currently leading by 12 in Game 3 after stealing Game 2.
Yeah, the Knicks are the funniest team ever because it's basically the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA. Every year is their year. Every year Jalen Brunson's going to average 40 and carry them. Their new head coaching hire is going to step up. Cat's going to lead them to the promised land. You guys, this is the same Knicks team that's been around for 3 years. A coaching change to an offensive-minded head coach is not going to solve your defensive problems. Yeah. That's like the Vikings firing KOC and going to get Mike Zimmer back.
Yeah,
that's just not going to work. I just don't get it.
Yeah, what you do with this Knicks team is that you attack their one-dimensional player, Jalen Brunson. CJ McCollum. He was going at Jalen Brunson. In that second game.
He put him in a blender. I tapped in the fourth quarter because I was right before the Wolves game that night, and I watched him put Jalen Brunson in a blender on 4 straight possessions. Yeah. I'm not even talking bodying him up. He put him in a blender in a way that would, if you get dropped at a park and you touch earth, you end up on every social media ever kind of blender, right?
Yeah, and then you have Cat, who's kind of a playoff dropper, it feels like.
Which is weird because I think he played, and I'm going to sound like a homer, he was a playoff riser with us. He played better with us than he does with the Knicks because he's being asked to do more in New York than he was here. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. It's tough because a lot of people are going to pick the Knicks to go deep. I can't stand the Knicks. That Hawks team is sneaky good because they have another Timberwolves player leading them. No surprise. But let's be honest here, gentlemen. It's all roads lead to Boston.
Yeah,
And I fear Boston might just mess around and do it again.
They did lose game 2 in the Garden against the Sixers.
That was great for VJ Edgecombe enthusiasts like myself. That guy plays harder than any rookie I think I've seen in the last 5 years. Maybe not named Cade Cunningham. It's
The Generator,
ridiculous.
right? That's his
Yeah,
nickname?
he went viral. For those of you that don't know, he went viral for
winking.
it on draft night, saying I used to live off a generator. Me and my mom lived off a generator for 7 years. So
Yeah, I mean, what a great story with that too. I mean, and Joel Embiid is a game time decision for Game 3.
Yeah, he hasn't played in a while.
No, since his appendix.
yeah, and I just have a hard time with the Sixers and Joel Embiid long term because this is what it is every year. It's like, okay, you're going to get 50 great games of Joel Embiid or 30 great games of Joel Embiid, and then we're going to load manage him. He's not going to play back-to-backs. Then he has an appendectomy in the playoffs. Now, that last one's a freak accident.
Yeah.
It's not really his fault, but it speaks to the fact that, like, they just keep beating a dead horse. So, like, eventually we're going to get 50 productive Joel Embiid games, and 15 of those will be in the playoffs, and we'll be in the conference finals. And that's just not ever going to come together. They got to move on. But his contract is expensive, to put it that way.
Yeah, and I mean, with that, we can talk about the final playoff series that we have not discussed just yet, which will be tipping off tonight on Prime Video in Target Center for Game 3, which Nuggets Wolves. This one, these first 2 games kind of show you exactly where this rivalry goes into.
This is the Tim Conley series because he literally built both of these teams, and they're designed to attack each other's weaknesses. This one, I would argue, is the most cinematic of the 7-game series because it's going to be the closest, and it's probably, if I had to pick only one series that was going 7 games, it would be this one. But I struggle with all of the disrespect to the Wolves because people told me, I've been hearing it all week, that Denver's got a better bench, and then I watched their bench score 16 points when they blew a 19-point lead and their stars ran out of gas, which has been their problem the whole time. It just frustrates me that nobody believes in the Wolves from the standpoint of, they're a small media team. Anthony Edwards isn't marketable because he drops F-bombs and slurs in his pressers, right? So it's like it's just a whole lot of bias towards the Denver Nuggets, and when we beat them, I can't wait for people. If we beat them in the series, and I'm saying if we beat them tonight and beat them in the series, people are going to act like this was a big upset and be super shocked about it when in the reality, the pieces were there the whole time.
And yeah, I mean, Jay McDaniels has really added fuel to the fire as well in the rivalry, naming names, which I've not seen a player do that in a while.
I mean, Nate Adelman, I think, is their coach, or David Adelman, I believe.
David Adelman, yeah.
David Adelman. I mean, he literally was talking today, and he was saying the podcaster, referring to Jay McDaniels, and he says, "Where are we in defensive standing right now? Defensive rating? They're currently 6, or currently 6 or 7, I believe.
Out of 16 teams.
Out of 16 teams. And
Unironically, 6 or 7.
Yes. Unironically, 6 or 7. But yeah,
Sorry, you set me up for that one.
I did. But I mean, I was watching Game 2. They need to change the schedules. I was in my bed at like 12 at midnight, and I fell asleep with like the last 2 minutes in, like on the fourth quarter. So I missed like the greatest 2 minutes ever.
And you know what the sad part is? If LA wins and they end up playing LKC, I'm willing to bet you the Wolves or Nuggets will play San Antonio at 8:30 every night in the second round of that series too. So unfortunately, Eric, I don't think the 8:30 tips are going away if the Wolves advance, which is just I don't like either.
It's not the 8:30 tips; it's the 9:30 tips because this started at 9:30. The Game 2 did.
I don't think it tipped until like 9:45 because among the flopping and foul baiting issues that the NBA has discussed, their tip times are also just terrible. It's like, I get it. Teams have their in-home like events and pregame stuff, but you should run your national anthem 5 minutes before tip. You should do the lineups before tip, and we should go live at the time you say you're going to go live.
Yeah.
Like, tonight's game isn't going to start until 8:40, 8:45, and it should tip directly at 8:30. And what's crazy to me is they push the tip times back if it's on national TV. You have other networks. I mean, obviously you're on Amazon. But I'm saying when you're on NBC and ESPN, you can push it to other networks. That's not difficult for you to do. You have media rights with like 5 of the biggest networks in the country.
Yeah, I mean,
like this of the problems the NBA has, this is the easiest one to fix.
yeah, I mean, they typically do that with the national like games on ESPN. They just go to ABC, typically.
Yeah, and you don't even need to push it back. Just go to the other network and go live at that time.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be more like that game. That game won't end for East Coasters until midnight, 1 a.m. That's assuming we get done on time.
Yeah.
So it's like if you want to appeal to the East Coast basketball market, you got to pull tip times back.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that concludes our NBA playoff coverage here. As I'm going to play a little sound effect for you guys. If you guys can predict or can guess what this is, it'll help pivot us towards the next topic. Whoa! Would you like me to play it again?
Yeah.
Okay, where do you think this clip came from?
WrestleMania?
No.
Dang.
Owen?
I don't have any good guesses, truthfully, because
It
I don't know
was
what that sounds like.
It was when the Cleveland Cavaliers selected Anthony Bennett with the first overall pick in the NBA draft, which moves us to round 1 of the NFL draft is tonight. Officially draft day here for a lot of teams, starting with number 1, the Las Vegas Raiders. And we kind of joked around about it a little bit. It's Ty Simpson, obviously.
Come on.
But I feel like you kind of brought up a good point, Owen. Is this the most predictable number 1 overall pick we've seen in the past 5 years?
It's got to be up there. I mean, if someone wants to pull, maybe other than Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
Joe Burrow was number 1 overall. Was
yeah.
that?
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure he was.
Get drafted?
I'm pretty sure he was consensus number 1 overall. I believe that year.
That was 2020, but there was talk before the season that Tua Tagovailoa was the consensus number 1 overall pick.
Which is funny because that 2020 draft was off the year where Joe Burrow led that historic LSU team that keeps getting brought up every year as could this team beat the Cleveland Browns? Could this team beat that team was so good it keeps getting compared to the worst NFL team in the league every year.
That is very true. I mean, there's a lot of different conversations about, back when Saban was coaching the Crimson Tide, can they beat the Cleveland Browns back when Hugh Jackson was coaching? Which, is there really any merit to that, like, at all?
I mean, you could if you
know.
put it in Madden.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to sim it in Madden, it might happen because you might get some RNG and some luck there with the sim. But in real life, it's just not realistic. It's like, again, with the Michigan and the NBA, it's just not realistic because they're different rules, different guys. The NBA guys are grown men playing for paychecks, and 10 years ago, the college guys were just college guys. Now they're grown men playing for paychecks.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the kind of the consensus for a overall pick. I mean, Caleb Williams, I'm pretty sure was the consensus. Oh, I can't say that word right now, but
Consensus, yeah. But that was also the year that the Bears had Justin Fields.
true.
So they were debating if they should even take Caleb Williams with that pick.
I mean, but they ultimately did.
They did, but there was a conversation.
True.
Or if they were going to trade the number 1 overall.
There's going to be with every first overall pick because the Raiders have a QB need, but the Raiders have 85 other different needs that they could realistically address. But everyone's saying the most obvious pick is Fernando Mendoza.
Well, would you give the keys to the castle to, how old is he now? Kirk Cousins?
30-something, I believe.
Big Kirko? I mean, there's one person I would love leading my franchise. It's
He's 37 years old.
Ever since he said that, it's kind of been all downhill from there, unfortunately.
he had some good years in Minnesota.
Yeah, come on, what do you mean?
He had some good
He
years.
did. He was a great statistical quarterback, but we didn't.
He won a
we didn't
playoff
make
game.
runs.
One playoff
He
game.
won a playoff
He
game.
won a play.
He won his only playoff game
Yeah.
with the Vikings.
That's the bar, unfortunately. So by that standard, you are correct.
But I mean, it is kind of weird. This draft cycle, it's not like a lot of similar draft cycle. We haven't seen a lot of trades.
Well,
Like heading into, at
yeah.
least.
I
I
mean,
think there's going to be. I have a feeling there's going to be a couple on draft night, and I don't know if you two have seen this, but allegedly Jonathan Grenard to the Eagles is already a done deal. It's going to be announced on day 2. Do you guys know anything about that or have any thoughts about it?
Well, that is in the rumor mill, but we'll have to wait and see until day 2. But again, Jonathan Grenard's been in the trade mix for quite a bit now because of his contract situation. And plus, Vikings have Dallas Turner. Speaking of which, Owen, who do you think the Vikings will select with the 18th overall pick?
I'm going to be a bit of a sheep here and go with the Twitter consensus, and that's Dylan Tiananmen from Oregon, because he's a safety, and who do the Vikings have that is allegedly retiring or maybe coming back for one more year that can mentor him if he comes back for one more year? That'd be Harrison Smith. All right?
That would be.
That seems like the most obvious pick. Then again, the Vikings never do what you want them to do. So, for all I know, we could take Kenyon Sadiq just because he's a freak athlete tight end. Who knows?
That is very true. Eric, who are the Bengals? Sorry, never mind.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Too soon.
I mean, how do you feel about? Because I did a little mock simulator just now, and it says they're going to get Caden McDonald, D tackle.
That's a need.
Yeah,
I'd say that's a need.
As 100% need. We do need pass rush. But Eric, if you still had the 10th pick, I get it. You have Dexter Lawrence, but if you still had the 10th pick, who would you have liked to see the Bengals take?
So it seems like from media and whatnot, the Bengals had 7 people that were blue collar people that they would have selected that number 10 overall pick, and they seemed like obviously they wouldn't have been there, but it would have been either Reuben Bain, Caleb Downs, or Sonny Styles. But obviously post draft, he has been shot up to top 5. Before he was top 12 or 10 or whatever.
And don't get me wrong, all of those guys are great, but Joe Burrow somewhere is punching his wall because they still refuse to get him protection.
What?
That is baffling to me, truthfully.
You might have just offended the Bengals fan.
What are you talking about? They were top 7 at the end of the year in offensive line.
At the end, you still need depth there. That's been your
true.
problem for years.
The center, but there's no offensive lineman that I would like, at least at center, that I would have gone out to get. Because it's the center position. The guard position is kind of fine. Tackle position, fine. You have Orlando Brown Jr., you have Amari Mims, great tackles. But the center, like Ted Karras, when Ted Karras retires or eventually leaves, who's going to be there?
Yeah, that's fair. That's completely fair.
Because the another need is outside the sexy Dexy trade. All right, what a great trade for that. I mean, people were giving us crap. The national media was giving the Bengals crap for getting Dexter Lawrence, but it's who are you going to get at the number 10 pick that is a surefire as good as Dexter Lawrence is at that position?
Yeah, and you're running out of time, frankly, with a fully healthy, functional Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and the NFL draft will officially start the clock in about a minute. So, Owen, if there's anything you would like to tell the viewers at home about your future academic journey or what's going on now, please feel free.
I actually interviewed a couple schools yesterday because I have to complete a clinical internship in order to get my master's. So we're doing that.
And where are you getting your master's?
I am going to the University of St. Thomas, which, funny enough, shameless plug, week 1, they take on Winona State, and you'll hear that on these very airways with Gabe Slavin and Ryan Good, presumably, unless Gabe makes it big time at his summer internship coming up. But
yeah, or I get fired. But either way.
Either one.
But yeah, Owen, we'd like to thank you so much for staying with us here for the second half of the Sports Rundown.